Hi guys, in this episode of Total Pro Build, we're going to be working on a boat and templates and plywood and the usual thing. But this is the reason why I haven't uploaded films for a while. Working on Bro Kevin's house. It's an old house just north of the Balkans in Bulgaria. And yeah, it's a nice old house, about 140 years old. So we're doing all kind of stuff on here, and yeah, so I haven't had too much time for the boat, but now I'm getting back onto it. And enjoy the episode, like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. All the best, Balkan Shafir. So this template, I made it out of 4 pieces, just to make things easy. So I got a bottom piece, it just gives me the bottom curve, and then I cut a piece of cardboard that goes in between the 2 bulkheads. I copied the curve, and then I bring it over, I put it at the top of the bulkheads, and I stick it on. And then these ones were slightly more difficult, but basically the same deal. Put in after the bulkhead, cut that, blowed it over here, got that, glued it on over here, and with this I find the same heights and I transfer heights with you. When you're working with weird shapes and weird stuff, then you really just want to transfer a point from there to here and use that point to work with. So you take a measurement from there and mark a point and use that bevel square and that square and just mark a point on it, and then take the same measurement, clamp the square on so it's showing exactly the pencil mark over here, and then I bring this up to the pencil mark, then smack on, and I know it's at the right height, and then I glue it up and all that kind of stuff. You just gotta faff around with this stuff, you know, that's the way it works, I guess. I don't know. Doing it with one big sheet would be more difficult, I think. So yeah, then you glue it up and it's done. There's why not from the top. Leopard looks much better, a little bit lighter. So yeah, we're working on this dude. So first, because these walls, these 2 bulkheads are very floppy, you'll take a measurement between the 2. You'll brace the one. You'll screw little blocks onto the 2 walls. I put all my little screws and all my little stuff that I'm screwing on, I put it very close to the edge, so once I'm filleting, everything gets filled up and you never see those holes again. So yeah, put on a couple little blocks, brace the one, yeah, screw your side panel onto that one. Make sure you got the same measurement, the same distance between the 2 like you had at the beginning, and screw on the second one. And that's basically the way I've done it. Here's a template that I made today. And so because I cut it from a new sheet of ply, then I didn't really need the bottom cut of the template. I would have needed it if I was cutting from an old piece of ply and I was doing between cuts and stuff, and you know, so then it could have helped me. But I actually took it out of a brand new sheet, so I knew one end, so I just left the bottom running wild. The top, I also left it slightly wild. Now I'm going to scribe out the bottom against the boat, and then I'm going to use my template to do the top, and that'll be done. So yeah, anyway, so it's looking good, I like it. This is 6mm. I didn't have any more 4. If I had more 4mm, I would have put on a 4mm. But I haven't got any more 4, and I got one more sheet of 4 that I'm keeping for other stuff. So 6, what can I do? So it's another 600 grams heavier. That's life, you know. So yeah, okay. The windward top side, so I put it on, and then what I do is, so it's been stitched on, of course, yeah, and stitching and stuff, screwed on, yeah, so I screw on a little batten, and then get it from here and then I get it from there. I square it all off with at least one vertical, one diagonal. Then I take my compressor and I really clean it out really nicely before I start wetting out and filleting. That's very important. I've left it big. It's running wild on this side. On the bottom it's perfect. And I've done that because it's just easier for me like this. And then later on I take my template and I cut up my template so I can fit it in between the bulkheads. And I get my heights. Basically it's easier over here. Over here my starting point is there, and I'll just use my template to take me to a point, a reference point that will be taken from this side over, transferred from here to there, and then I just use my template to that point, and that's the way I'm going to get it. I just decided to do it like this, so it saves me messing up in case I cut it exact and something goes wrong when I'm gluing it in or something. Then afterwards there's a lot of problems. So sometimes it's better get one end good and let the other one run wild, and then after it's all glued up, then you can take the other end off and match it off something else, and so and so. I put on my windward top side, but I left it slightly big on this side, on the top side. Now I cut up my template. My template was made out of 3 pieces and 4 pieces, 3 top ones and a long bottom. So I take off the top side, that's that one for example, yeah, and then I use it to transfer the line onto here. And the way I do it is, it's pretty simple. Basically I would take a measurement, say from the bulkhead to the end of here. I would put the same measurement over here, so it's 45 centimeters to here and it's 45 centimeters to there, yes. And then I would use a big level, but I've leveled my hull inside, yeah. And then I would use a big level and I'll put my big level on that mark up against this bulkhead, and I would get a level line that brings me to here. Now I will take that bulkhead over, because I don't have a shear clamp anymore. The old shear clamp over here got cut out. I've got a knuckle now. So I got my starting point over there. I put the template up against this wall on the inside, and when it comes to the line, that's when I hold it and I mark my line over there. Pretty simple. So all you're doing is you want to get the same point sideways, yeah, 45 and 45, and then you want to take the same height over. And the best way to do that is using a level. And with a flat bottom boat, if you level your bottom, then you can level your top. The next one is piece of cake. It's the middle one that was there. I made it out of 3 templates because I put my bulkheads in, so I was putting a cardboard in, cutting it on both sides, getting it in, and then I would mark the top and cut the top. So I just take off the plates off the 3 top templates, and I move it from that side to that side. I start at the top of that bulkhead and I run to the top of that bulkhead. I mark my line, and that's my cut line. So cutting is going to be a strange business because I'll be cutting from the outside, but I'll be looking on the inside. But I believe I can do it. After I got my line, my cut line off the cardboard template, just to clean up the line and get me a nice line that's, you know, I'll screw on a batten, and now I'm going to mark it out again. The batten's a little bit short, so I'm going to move it over afterwards to that side. So I'm catching 2 bulkheads and then the offcut, you know what I mean. So nice line now after the batten. And then what I do is, just to make sure before I cut, is I'll measure from the floor up to my lowest, up to there kind of, and I know that it's 555 on that one, and believe me, it's the same on the other one. So now I can just go ahead and cut. So using the jigsaw, I just cut up to there, stopped at the bulkhead because you can't go through, cut the other way, did the same this way, that way, and then, yeah, I love this. That's a Japanese saw. And that's it, done. And it's a nice curve. Now with a block sander, sanding block, if I want I can just clean it up a little bit, but basically it's done. Okay, so now I've got to put on this piece to match that one. The way I do it is, first of all, because my bulkheads are put in square, because I measured my bulkheads off the center, from the center of the boat I measured, and I have the same measurement, so my bulkhead is square to the center line of the boat. So okay, so I take a measurement from the bulkhead to here, and then I'll transfer that measurement and take it from there to here. I just want to get the length, I want to know where it ends. So I'll put it over here, and I'll take this, and I'll put my mark on it, where it ends. So there, the red mark is its end. Now basically, I want to get this shape, I want it to be the same. I'll put it here on the mark. I've got my line. It's the lowest line. Now I would have to move this line. I have to move this line. Why? Because I want this to come low down here. I want it to be glued onto the side of the boat. So it has to come down. In order for it to come down, the line has to go up, and I'll bring it up to the top. I might as well use all the material I have over here, and then I do with this clear paper stuff. Here's the original line I scribed, but then I want to move it up because I want to have the bottom to glue onto the boat. Show you that later. So the easiest way was just to take a block. So I decided I'll go all the way to the top, use all the material I have. So I just took this, which actually just comes perfectly to the top, and I just made a small lines, you know, and I moved it along and I moved it along, small lines, small lines, small lines, and then I just fixed them up. I took a nice thin batten, lay it down there, got it all on my small lines, and made one nice line. Well, I put my line on, and it's starting at the mark. Everything's good, but I got this ugly gap, so that must be solved first, and then I'm gonna have to make new lines. So okay, now the easy way to solve this is just, you want to move this over to there. So you put a batten, or you put a piece of wood, anything you got, on the good line, and just transfer it onto the sheet that we're going to cut. Once we cut this line, it will meet up perfectly, but we will have to make a new line for this, and then we can cut it all, and then it will be a perfect fit. So there's our boat all closed up from the windward side. Okay, I glued on that guy. He's gonna later on, he's gonna get a cut like that and like that, and another one too, and then the akka comes out of there. He goes down quite a way to reinforce this wall, because over here I'm going to glue on the whatever it's called that I lashed the akka onto. So it's going to be here somewhere. I'm going to also put a backing plate on the inside, piece of ply, and that all gets bolted on to the shear clamp and onto him, to the old shear clamp of course. Okay, fiberglass over here. Then what I like to do, I personally do this all the time. First of all, when I'm gluing on stuff, I always use thickened epoxy. I wet out both surfaces, this and that, and the gunnel, and then I'll put thickened epoxy over there. Then I'll screw it on so it all squishes out everywhere and it looks beautiful. And then I'll fiberglass. If I'm fiberglassing and I've got thickened epoxy left over, I fill the weave. I just fill the weave with it as is. The minute I've put on my gloss and I've wet it out and it's looking good, if I got any thick stuff left over, I just go over the weave. I'm not interested. And then when I sand, so fairly quickly it will clean up nice, and you don't have to cut into the fabric, and it's just that's the way I do it. Of course, it works only for small things, eh? I mean, you can't fill the weave of the whole bottom with thickened epoxy over there. You'll do it different. But on little jobs like this, that's the way I do it. And basically, that's it, guys. Looking good.